Just imagine giant trees, strange plants, and the most magnificent creatures walking the earth. Triceratops are grazing, massive diplodocuses are devouring leaves, and a fearsome Tyrannosaurus rex is waiting for its prey in the shadows. Everything seems normal, but in the sky, a deadly danger they haven't noticed is approaching. A giant meteor, the size of Mount Everest. And boom! When the meteor struck the Earth, it created an impact, like millions of atomic bombs exploding at once. The sky turned dark, the sun wasn't seen for months, plants died, and the world became ice cold. This was the beginning of the end for the dinosaurs. Including the T-Rex, almost all of the dinosaurs were wiped out. But how did some survive this great catastrophe and turn into the chicken that comes to our tables today? This is where the most exciting part of the story begins, because not everyone was affected equally by the disaster. Sometimes being small is the biggest advantage. In that chaotic environment, while the giant dinosaurs were perishing one by one because they couldn't find food, there was a group of small, two-legged, meat-eating dinosaurs. We call them theropods. Take note of this name, because the great-great-great-grandfathers of our chickens were from this very lucky and clever group. These small dinosaurs had a huge advantage thanks to their size. Being as small as a sparrow or a turkey, they could survive on less food and could hide among the debris and in crevices. They had taken the first step to becoming the new owners of the world. But wait a minute, how do we know they are the ancestors of chickens? What is our proof? Now, we will examine that evidence like a detective. When you learn about this evidence, your mind will be blown. Have you ever made a wish with a wishbone after eating chicken? That V-shaped thin bone is one of our biggest pieces of evidence. Its scientific name is furcula. For years, scientists thought this bone was unique to birds, until one day they found the exact same bone while examining a T-Rex fossil. Yes, the T-Rex also had a wishbone. This was the first major sign, showing an undeniable, incredible family bond between chickens and the T-Rex. Just imagine a giant predator that lived millions of years ago, and today's chicken have the same special bone in their chest. Most of us imagine dinosaurs as scaly, like lizards, right? But that information is now very outdated. Fossil research has proven that many theropod dinosaurs, especially the velociraptor, had feathers. But these feathers weren't initially for flying. Just as a peacock uses its feathers for display, or a penguin uses them for protection from the cold, these dinosaurs also use their feathers to court each other, to show off, and to keep their bodies warm. So, the soft feathers of a chicken are actually a millions of years old dinosaur invention. What color do you think dinosaur feathers were? Write your wildest guesses in the comments. I will pin the most creative one. Have you ever held a chicken bone in your hand? Did you notice how light and hollow it is inside? This trait was also inherited from their dinosaur ancestors. The bones of theropod dinosaurs were hollow, just like those of birds. This structure made their massive bodies much lighter and more agile. They could run faster and escape from their prey more easily. Millions of years later, these light bones would help their descendants, the birds, to take to the skies. Everything is so connected, isn't it? So, how did these small feathered dinosaurs come to look exactly like the chickens of today. Of course, this didn't happen overnight. It was like a work of art that took place over millions of years in tiny steps. Mouths turned into beaks. Over time, those toothed, frightening jaws disappeared. In their place, hard beaks formed, which were more useful for cracking seeds and scratching the ground. Tails shortened. The long balancing dinosaur tails gradually shortened and turned into a small, bony structure from which birds' tail feathers grow. Arms became wings. The clawed forelimbs they used for hunting slowly evolved into wings used for flying. First, they jumped short distances, then glided from tree to tree, and finally, they became the rulers of the sky. Each new generation passed on the best traits that helped them survive to the next. And at the end of millions of years, that wild theropod dinosaur transformed into the clucking, cute chicken we know today. Yes, Yulvivi family, now you know that big secret. When you look at an egg you bought from the market, you are actually looking at the egg of an evolved form of a dinosaur. The rooster's crow you hear in the morning is a modern echo of the roar that shook the world 66 million years ago. Isn't that strange? It shows how magnificent and surprising nature is. This is the greatest proof that it's not the strongest who survive, but those who adapt best to changing conditions. The giant T-Rexes disappeared, but their smaller, more adaptable cousins continue to live among us today in a completely different form. Now that you know this information, you are also among the most special members of the Yulvivi family. From now on, when someone shows you a chicken, you won't see an ordinary animal. You will see a living history, a miracle of evolution. If you enjoyed this incredible evolutionary journey, don't forget to like the video to show you are a part of this family. And if you aren't subscribed yet, subscribe to our Yulvivi channel so you never miss secrets like this. Hit that notification bell too, so you'll be the first to know about our next mysterious adventure. Now for one last question. What do you think chickens might evolve into in millions of years? Could they turn back into giant dinosaurs? I am eagerly waiting for the smartest, funniest, and most creative theories in the comments. Remember, I read and heart every single one of your comments. See you in the next video. Goodbye and stay curious.